Well, people, it has happened again. Another speeding vehicle plowing into a crowd, this time in Florida. Makes you wonder, right? Are the powers up to their shenanigans again? I don't know how they do it, but I'm telling you, people, somebody's inside somebody's brain. Hello? Somebody's in somebody's brain. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friendship Pierce, working at Friendship Blue. It's Saturday. Happy Saturday. November 8th of 2025, 2:53 in the p.m. Let's say it together. Praise our Heavenly Father, from whom all blessings flow. No matter what you're going through, baby, plead the blood of Jesus to cover us, to shield us, to be our sword. That's what time it is, people. Now, 4 injured, 4 dead, 11 injured after speeding car plows through crowd in Florida. You guys probably heard about that. A Dade City, Florida man is facing 8 felony charges after 4 people were killed in a crash in Ybor early Saturday morning, the Tampa Police Department said. Tampa Police Chief Ybor said that it started around 12:40 a.m. when police air units saw 2 vehicles racing westbound on Ybor Avenue heading toward Interstate 275. Now, I want to answer this in part because this decode is going to connect what happened on January 1st. Remember what happened back in the day on Bourbon Street in New Orleans? Then there was another festival as well. These numbers connect, people. And like I said, I believe they're in somebody's head. Now, let me solve a little bit of the mystery for you. We're in the month of November. I told you guys there's going to be a lot of tragedies in November. Joe Biden said a few weeks ago, remember maybe 8 or 9 days ago, he said there's going to be some dark days ahead. And look, people, it's a warning. I said it's a warning. Now, because we're in the month of November, I had the presence of mind before I went to bed at midnight last night to look at this thing in terms of 11 and 7. So let's start here. On 11/7 of 2025, right? Yesterday I reported an ambulance here in Chicago was allegedly stolen. All right? 11/7/2025. When you take, first of all, November 7th is the 311th day of the year. Divided by 7, which is a week, that's 44 weeks and 4 days. Barack Obama is the 44th president. That's my point. Now watch. On 11/3, Dick Cheney died, former vice president under Bush. That's the 307th day of the year. 307 divided by 7 gives you 43.85, like 44, round up. Barack Obama. See, this is giving praise to me. Do you remember the UPS crash on 11/4? Well, that's 308 days in the year. November 4th, 308 days in the year. Divided by 7 gives you exactly 44. Barack Obama. Are you seeing the pattern? Of course. And we had, back in the day, JFK, who died on 11/22. All right, 11/22. That's the 326th day of the year. Divided by 7 gives you 46.57. 46 like death. And JFK died at 46 years old. I just had to set that foundation, okay? Now let's look at this. We're going to decode this thing, okay? Because it has a lot of signs. The powers, again, they speak through incidents, and they also point to future past. Now check this out.
They were out in Ybor having a good time, expecting to go home safely, and a careless, reckless driver takes everybody's lives in his hands and just ended this night in a situation that's never going to be the same for these individuals.
Breaking news as we come on to the air. A night out in Ybor City turns deadly after police say a speeding driver crashed into a group of people. Right now, 4 people are dead and 11 others are hurt. Now, this all happened around 12:30 this morning on East 7th Avenue in 10 Tampa Bay. News reporter Nick Valturo just got to the scene. And Nick, please tell us what investigators are saying at this time.
Yeah, Emerald, definitely a very chilling, and as you can see, also still a very active scene, because this all came to a violent end over here on 7th Avenue in Ybor City, and that's where we are, in the heart of Ybor City. And if I just take a step away, you can still see there are investigators outside. There's glass debris and what's left of a business front after a speeding car came barreling through the area. Now, Tampa Police Chief Ybor says it started right around 12:30 when they spotted 2 cars racing westbound on Hillsborough Avenue, heading toward I-275. One driver, they decided to bail off. The other kept going south on the interstate. Now, that driver exited into downtown, where Florida Highway Patrol troopers, they tried to make a traffic stop at a Nebraskan Palm, even attempted a pit maneuver, we're told, but they could not get that driver to stop. Now, when troopers tried to back off, the car flew into Ybor, and moments later, it slammed into this business just east of 15th Street near Bradley's. Now, police say it plowed through more than a dozen people who were outside. Now, 4 people were killed.
It is, Christy. Good morning to you. That's right. It has been hours since this happened in the middle of the night at this point, but as you can see behind me, still a very active, much less heartbreaking scene. If you're familiar with Ybor City here in Tampa, very popular spot to go out, especially on a Friday night. Everyone was just out here walking, having fun, and then tragedy happened. Now, we could tell you that the establishment behind this City of Tampa police car, they've kind of blocked the scene, but the car crashed into a crowd of pedestrians before smashing into the front of a place called Bradley's on 7th, which is kind of a bar, nightclub. Again, very popular spot, especially on a Friday. Now, Tampa police in a press conference a few hours ago say this all began just after
Now, I want to show you a few signs right off. See the license plate? 11-7 or 7-11. Remember, Trump said when he was speaking in New York back in the day after 9/11, he said 7-11 instead of 9/11. Look at this. License plate 11-7, or you can reverse it 7-11. Now, earlier in here, you're going to look at the background. Look at the background. See, it says New York. I don't believe these are accidents. You come to your own conclusion. New York pizza. New York, New York. And we already saw the license plate, did we not? Okay, so I want you to put it together. They're telling stuff for the future, I believe, okay? They're trying to tell us something's going to happen. New York, I've already put them on my watch list, and I'm sure you have as well, okay? So I want you guys to see it. Didn't want to go too far. 11-7. How fitting, right? Okay. Now, when Trump did this, I want to say it was on April 18th. Let me see. Trump said 7-11 instead of 9-11. I tell you. Here you go. It's in my history, thank God. I want to say 4/18/2016. So let's look this up. Going on a hunch, you know, every now and then I do a hunch. We'll see if I can hit it or not. So we're talking 4/18. Trump said that many years ago. We're going to take that 4/18, subtract it down, see if it's going to speak to us. Because again, I told you guys, they're running a lot of events in relation to the future now during the month of November. That's what I believe they're doing. Okay? So, if you take it literal, 4/18/2025, anniversary when Trump said 7-11 instead of 9/11, versus 11/8, the crash today, you get 6/22. That's the day that what? That America bombed Iran. Okay? Just want to see how that comes out. It's a speaking without speaking moment. It's a speaking without speaking moment. They're very creative when they do things. Very creative. And then look at this. If you take 4/18/2026, anniversary when Trump said 7/11 instead of 9/11 versus last night's crash, you get 5/14. Israel became a nation on 5/14. Like I said, people, they're speaking. I don't care what nobody says. I'm going to keep doing these videos. I want you guys to understand what's going on.
7 others were hurt. Tampa police haven't said what business would.
Let's go back into this here.
Hours ago say this all began just after 12:30 this morning when their air unit spotted 2 cars racing on some local streets a couple of miles away from this area. One of them then merged onto the highway I-275 southbound, and TPD's air service began tracking it a couple of miles away from this area. One of them then merged.
November 7, 8, and 9, right there. November 7, 8, and 9. Just showing it to you. November 7, 8, and 9.
Onto the highway I-275 southbound, and TPD's air service began tracking it from above. It exited off a downtown interchange exit and then began tracking it from above. It
Can't get that license plate. I wish I could.
exited off a downtown interchange exit and then headed this way. That's when Florida Highway Patrol troopers got involved. They were basically the closest units. They tried a pit maneuver, but it was unsuccessful because of the driver's high speed. Troopers say they disengaged for safety reasons. And then moments later, investigators say the vehicle continued east into Ybor City here, speeding down busy 7th Avenue and right near North 15th Street where we're standing. Now, police say 4 people who were all over the age of 20 were killed, 3 here at the scene, 1 later at a local hospital. We know 11 others were injured. 1 is in critical condition. Tampa Police Chief Ybor called this a senseless tragedy and say both TPD and FHP are committed to getting justice for the victims and their families. Now, the driver within the last few hours has been identified as a 22-year-old man from Dade City. His name is Silas Sampson. We can tell you he's in custody this morning.
Remember the 22 I always show you guys? Barack Obama's head. In Barack Obama's head, there's a V. V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. V, like catastrophe. I want to pull that up for you guys. If not, I will go straight to the video and we'll pull it up that way. I haven't pulled it up on my camera feed in a while, but let me see if I can find it. I do not see it. Hocus pocus, right? Okay, well, we'll find it another way. You guys have seen that before, where Barack Obama has a V in his head. Let's go to it. I've lost it. Okay. In iPet Goat 2, Barack Obama is sweating a V, literally. He's sweating a V in his head. Here it is right here. V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet, okay? Now, they said this guy was 22 years old, the guy who killed all those people in the car last night. 22nd letter of the alphabet is V. They're telling you through the incident that he's 22 years old. He created tragedy. He killed people by racing, okay? But the V in Barack Obama's forehead, V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. You see what happens? America is being destroyed. And it's midnight. It's midnight. You understand the symbolism? I just want you guys to see it. I want you guys to see it. Okay. Now next, let's go to this here. This is when they were racing. See them? Got them racing. I slowed it down. And then you're going to see the car here. Going to come out of nowhere right here. It's going to crash into this car. And I'm stopping it because I can't show those things. He's going to hit this car and barrel into the people. This is what they showed. This is what they're saying. What happened? Okay, let's go a little bit further. The guy who did the guy who crashed, his name is Silas Sampson. Silas Sampson. Are those biblical names? I know Samson is, right? I know, right? Is Silas a biblical name? And Silas was a leader in the early Christian community who traveled with the Apostle Paul, right? And we know, and what we have. Is Samson a biblical name? Derived from the Hebrew. So we have two biblical names. They say this guy's name is Silas Sampson. Come on, y'all. Well, that's 33 in Gematria, like what? Masonic. And 75. The 75th day of the year, people, is March 16th, like 316s, called sacrifice. Do you understand what you're looking at now? The car plows into all these people. 4 dead, 11. The 11, like I've been talking about 11 all year. 11, well, since the Pope died, 11. Sacrifice, and 33. Is it speaking? Is this coincidence? Ybor City. This happened in Ybor City. It comes out to 45 and 2 ciphers. Who's the 45th president? Trump. Was this a sacrifice? Is there somebody in this person's head? Now, here's something here from 6 months ago. 9 dead after vehicle rams at Filipino festival. You guys probably remember I did this. I did a video on that. Listen to this here. Another car ramming into a situation on the street.
On this Sunday morning, we do begin with breaking news out of Vancouver, British Columbia. You're taking a look at some video right here of a street festival after at least 9 people were killed after a car drove into this street festival. That is according to police today. They say at least 9 people were killed when a man drove into a crowd at a Filipino heritage festival in the Canadian city of Vancouver, and an unknown number were also injured. The vehicle entering the street at around 8:14 p.m. local time last night, striking people who were attending the Lapu-Lapu Day Festival. That's according to Vancouver police.
So that was a few months ago. I did a video on it. You know, looking at this car here, you know, I remember I saw some images in that car. Let me see if I can see it here. In the car, I saw images. I don't know if it was this side or the other side, but I saw images, and I brought that to you guys' attention. I think it was the front part of the car. I saw images. Somebody might be able to get it here. It takes a lot to research, people, but I did the research on this vehicle. It looked like there was an image inside the vehicle, which to me, it was computer generated. Okay, I don't see an image here, but yeah. Let me go a little bit further now. I want to go to this here. Suspect charged with murder over Vancouver Filipino festival. Remember that? Now look at this here. The date was 4/26 of 2025. Well, last night's crash was 11/8 of 2025. The difference is 6 months and 14 days ago, people. So 6 months and 14 days ago, a guy rammed his car into a Filipino festival. What is 6/14? Do you understand what I'm saying now? Is there something in somebody's head? Now, to answer that question, let's go here because we have something from Bourbon Street. Remember the first of the year, 15 dead? I know, right? A lot of situations. Here you go.
Now, breaking news out of New Orleans, at least 15 people are dead, more than 30 injured after an Army veteran slams a rental truck into New Year's Eve revelers in what the FBI is calling a terrorist attack, and they do not think he acted alone.
Live picture now from the French Quarter tonight. This is where the search is on for more possible suspects. That after surveillance video showed 3 men and a woman placing explosive devices in the area.
With that, we welcome you officially.
All right, so that's that. Now, here's one of the videos that I produced. I produced back in the day in relation to this, and I spoke on this. Okay? And I'm wondering, allegedly, is this what's going on in people's head? Now, listen, watch this. I want you to see something. I already showed you the guy who did this on January 1st of the year, right? January 1st. Former Army person, right? Now, listen.
You follow? Now, I did a video a few days ago. This is when it's going to get deep. 4 days ago, I did this video. Why does this apartment seem stable? This guy here, Shamsu Din Jabbar, he's the one who had the white 4x4. He drove it down erratically, they say 80 miles an hour, down Bourbon Street, and he killed, what, 15 people and injured dozens of others? You remember that? Okay. A reporter was allowed to go into his house 24 hours after the authorities went there to check out the house, which I told you I was crazy. I want to show you what I found. And something that hit my subconscious, and I did not follow up. But today, it hit me. I'm going to show it to you. See, I did filming at this stage in college. I did it when I was with newspapers and magazines. And I saw how it was done on shows. Okay, so that's my background. So when I see her, and she's talking about the house, I said it's the face of a snake, allegedly. And I know.
This is inside the house of the guy who plowed his car on Bourbon Street.
Was in the mouth. You gotta check out the full video, and you'll see my other videos that I put. But watch this.
In disarray. There's a bedroom back here,
And the camera just slowly pivots, and you see Armin.
And his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And as we go back.
Now, that's a briefing thing. You owe it to yourself to watch this video. Now, let me show you the original one. It's newspaper form. I'm gonna speed it up because I want to get straight to my point. Then I'm gonna point to it. Can you see it there on the couch?
Now here she is. You see her hand here. She's walking to his apartment, and then you see this here. Look at that design. You got the orange and the red like the sun god Ra. But what is this? Watch.
Sun god Ra. And look at this. Watch.
Quran, an open Quran, collection of religious materials, his Quran.
What is that, people? What in the hell is that? What in the hell is that? I'm done. I'm gonna say a legend. My name is Friendship Pearson. I love you. Go to TikTok. Type this in.
So that's what I saw. What do you think? Now look at the date. January 1st, 2025, that happened. 11/8/2025 last night. The difference is 312 and 444. 4 and 4 is 8. 84 would be Barack Obama's birthday, August 4th. What is the 312? Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris by 312 votes. Tell me what you think. I'm Friendship Pearson. God bless.